So let's say I'm going to use this one. I put it in. Sorry. Put it in like this. So now this is how it looks for now. I mean, this is how it looks. But now you have to hold the needle and take it out. The whole needle should now come out. Once it comes out, the thread is inside the needle's hole, and then you can let go of this side. So this doesn't have the thread anymore. So we have everything ready now to use. Now comes the knot. You have to put a knot at one of the end, otherwise like it will not stop when you're doing the stitches. So I generally twist it around my hand like twice and then rub it and just let it come out, and then so it makes a knot. It's a very quick knot. If you want, you can actually make it like this, like a simple knot. You pass it through and everything, but it's very easy to do that finger thing. Just do 1, 2, rub it out, and then press it. This is the end. 1, 2, and then I'm rubbing it out, like twisting and rubbing it out, and then so forms a knot. For satin stitch, basically how you do this, so this is behind of the thing. You see, it's almost the same motif what is in the front, because you make the thread go front and then come back from back, then go front, then go come back from back, like that. So that is the satin stitch, which is the major part of this kit. So let's say, for example, even the leaves have satin stitch, and I have golden. So I'll start with that to show how the satin stitch goes. Let me see if the lighting would be better. So basically, I don't know if I can show you. Yeah. So let's say this one, and always in this one, it will show you how your thread should go, how your thread should run. It's showing that each petal from the tip to the bottom goes the thread like this. It goes like this. It doesn't go like this. It goes like this. So let's say, for example, if I'm going, so I'll start from an end, like exactly like how you color a book or design. It's like we are coloring with the thread. So we take it out, the needle with the thread inside, and then let me see, where should I go? So here, I'm going here because there is a curve here. So I'll start with smaller stitches, then go longer, then go longer, then go longer, and then go smaller, smaller, smaller again. Okay, and I'm going to follow the whole line as it is. So I pull in the needle. So you see these blue things, these are very good helpful lines. I'm following that. I just pull it. So there is one stitch made with the yellow thing. Now in the back, this is how it looks. This is my knot. I took it out from here. Now I'm going back here again. So this thread will come back. This thread will come back here. And then I will put it here. So I'll show you in the front from where the needle is going to come out. So I started from the bottom of the flower, went up from bottom to up. Now I'll go again to the bottom to up. So my needle should come from the bottom. Do you see the needle? It's coming quite near to the yellow thread already been like stitched. So now this thread comes out. Now I want this thread to color the next line. I mean the same part, but just next to it. I want it to sit like this. So on the blue line, I will make it go in. So basically, let's say, Do you see where I'm trying to push it in? So now that would be the second line of this petal. So similarly, we have to keep on going. Now again from the bottom, thread comes out, and then at the top, thread goes in. So you see, a part of the petal is now yellow, and exactly in the way it should be. It should be in this direction. So it is like this. So if I keep doing it, I will fill the whole thing, the whole petal in yellow. So let me try whatever thread I have to fill in. Then I can show you guys another stitch. Let's try this satin stitch. So there are satin stitch in this one, this kind of flower. They satin stitch on the leaf. They satin stitch on this petal. So you have a lot of opportunities to try the satin stitch wherever you can. Whichever color you already chose to start with, you can. So let's do this. And you know, this is very therapeutic for if you practice it. And also it's, if people are perfectionist, they really love this and their work comes out so clean because my mom is like that. I remember her work, my friends saw and they thought this was like machine done. It wasn't, like she did it by her hand. So she'll use very fine silk threads and very fine needles, and she'll go like it like really tiny in like millimeters away, like in even millimeters. So it becomes like really smooth embroidery. But that takes a lot of time and effort. So it totally depend on us, like what we want to do. Because this one is also not bad, like what we are doing right now. So one more thing, when you're trying to do this thing, like now I want the thread to from the side to start going in the center. That's the, now the aim is okay, because you see this one is just so much, but this one is like so from here to here. So the thread goes from here to here, here to here, the angle changes for the thread, then becomes straight. Okay, so it means that here you don't have a lot of places to go further and further, but here you have to go further. So you be here very near. Whenever you're taking your needle in or out, you have to be quite close, but here you could be little far from each other so that you can, you know, the thread will go from like this. It's like moving like this, so you don't have a lot of space here to move. If otherwise it will be like this, you will end up making things like this. You don't want that. You want it to be straight in the center. So you thread like this, then thread like this. So I will keep coming out from this side, keep going in here, 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 here to make it straight. So now my thread is just so much left. So I better tie it. We should not leave the thread end open. Otherwise it will just open, like whatever you did embroidery, later it will come off when you wash or do whatever with it. Like my plan is to put this thing like after washing it. So whatever comes out, put this on one of my t-shirt. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make some pretty stitches here, like some stitches here, and just put it on my t-shirt. Like some t-shirt which you want to give another new look. So you couldn't do that. Or like people can just hang it as it is. So it doesn't matter. But if you're going to put it on your cloth, then all the ends have to be closed because you want to wash it, you want to keep using it. So it's important. So when you want to do, let's say when you're like running out of thread, time to not make a knot. Basically, make a knot anywhere random. You could use any thread which is already available here from the stitching. So just put it from here and then try to use it. Or if you don't want to, then you can just simply any area which is, is not going to be visible. So, this side, I know that once I fill inside of the petal, nobody is going to see. It will be a thread coming out. So I could use just this cloth to make my knot. Basically attach my thread to a part. So basically, or whatever thread is available. So let's say if this is the last thread I used, I'm gonna let's say use this one. I'm gonna go through that thread, come out, there is a loop. There's a loop here. And then go back in this loop, make a knot. I made a knot. So this knot will help it to secure the end, open end. One more time. So this is the thread. I come out of this thread through it, and then there is a loop. I go through that loop again and pull it. So it's close. Now, if there's a long thread hanging, it's a trouble because later this will try to intertangle with other of your threads. So keep it smaller. Like you can leave like half an inch still there, but rest part you should cut off. So I did cut off and just left so much. If you cut very short, there is a risk that it will open on its own. So you have to leave some part. But then I just cut it like the longer part because that is going to just become twisted and everything with the thread you're using. So that was the satin one. One more thing. So what I do is generally after making the knot, at one end, I leave that end longer than the other free end. Because you want to fill in color with this one. You're using this side. You're not using this side. Okay. This slowly gets used up and then slowly goes up. So we start with this. Okay. We start using the stitches and using the thread. As long as you finish so much and you start seeing, oh, both the threads are coming, then pull it little hard. Okay. Then this will just shift little up and then you get more space to use. Okay. Some people also do something like this, that they put both the ends together and then tie them. This way it's like 8 thread, not 4 thread, or 6 thread, not 3 threads. Okay. Now point is that since it says 3 thread, we are doing 3 threads, but it doesn't have to be. It's totally up to you. If you feel like, oh, I want to fill in, like I want to do some coarse work, as I said, if you use just one thread and do the embroidery, it will be like machine, as what my mom would do. But it will take so long because it's like thin thread to fill in the color. But if you have 6 threads, it gets over very quickly. I'll show you example how it will look. So you see in this flower, I used I think 3 threads here and 6 here. So like 3 or 6, I think so this one has more numbers. You see, it looks more coarse, meaning you can see the threads much more better. Here you cannot see them. It's like this. So that's the difference. If you use 2 different size or thickness, if you use like more threads, so yellow part, just focus on the yellow part. Okay. If you look at the yellow one, this is more threads, this is less threads. So that's the only difference. So if it is thicker thread, it fills in very quickly. So I can count 1, 2, 3, 4. Only 4 times I did up and down, it filled. But the one which had less thread, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8. I had to go in and out 8 times to get this one fill because it was less thread. and this was more thread, so I could finish in just 4 stitches. So it's totally up to you what effect you want. If you want like really fine, like you don't want people to know this, it was like they were like stitches going in and out, then you go fine. But if you like coarse, you can go with a thicker thread. Now let's say if we are doing French knot, which is difficult, I think this one you all have to watch very carefully, and let me see if I can make it somehow in such a way that I can also easily do it. Okay. So for French knot, I'm just going to create it at any random place. So let's say I'm creating it here. So we go out. Oh, I tied the both ends. It's okay. I can show with the both thread. So we go out, and then you hold this little tight, and then put your needle inside and twist it twice, like wrap around it twice. Could you see it? Like I'll do it again. Did you see it? Like wrapping around the needle? So once it is wrapped around, you keep holding on this thread. This should not let go. Okay. So basically, one. It's so hard to show like that and do it. Okay. So like this and this twice. Is the lighting okay, guys? Okay. And then go in. Try to go in as near as possible to the original from where you came out. Like where the thread came out, it has to go very near to it and then go in. So I'm putting it in, but I'm also being very careful that the thread I'm holding, I'm keeping it as it is. You see, this thing is actually wrapped around the needle still, and it has to be like that. It should not be loose, a lot loose, or it should not be very tight. Otherwise, this thing will not pass. So we have to keep it like little loose so that this thing can pass, but it cannot be too loose. Otherwise, some of the threads will just look very bad. I'll show you the bad example too. So once this is ready, this thread has to be little pull, not very hard, but has to be pulled. This thread, I mean the one which is around it. Okay. And then the needle is going in, going in, going in. This needle. Okay. So now slowly, I'm not leaving that thread yet. Now I left it. And then there you go. It looks like this. This is the French knot. Now I'll show you the bad example where I was not keeping it very tight. Here, where I was not keeping the thread tight, it came loose like this. That's not nice. Okay, it should be tight so that they look like really, when you touch it, it's like really thick and very tough thing. It seems like very tough knot, like it won't come out that easily. So I'll show you guys one more time, because this is it is the most hard stitch in this one. Rest are easy. So one more time, I'm going out, needle is going out. Then needle is going to wrap around the thread twice. Then needle is going in. Now this thread has to be tightly held, not very tight, but should not be loose. You will understand when you're doing more. So then this thread is going in, needle is going in, so the thread will start going in. Okay, I had to go let it loose because Yeah. See, this is bad. Why this is bad? Because I let go the thread. Okay. Now I'll show you guys again and I'll hold the thread for sure this time. So I'm holding this thread which has come out. I'm holding it, wrapping around my needle twice and then passing it through very near. See, there's a problem I'm showing and I'm doing it. Okay. Now I'm holding the thread still, which is wrapping around the needle and letting go of the needle. That thread, if that you lose, it won't work. So this time it did because I did not lose the thread. Like I kept holding it until it goes almost in. I kept holding it. Like I kept it straight. I kept it, but it's not too strong. Okay. This one, you'll get hang of it like in 10 stitches, but this one is the most difficult one. If you want to do stretch stitch, which is required on this, on the outer part of the leaf, this dark pink shade. Okay. So for example, if I wanted to make one line here, extra one line here because there's a space. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make needle entrance where I want the stitch to start from. So you see, you guys, with the dark pink, I'm using yellow, but yeah, use the correct color, number and everything. So you take it out for the straight stitch. And then let's say if this is where it's going back, like you will see here blue color lines. You just have to go to the end of the blue color line. I'm just making it imaginary because I used all my blue lines. But basically you just need to cover the blue line. So you go at the end as the blue line will be at the end and just let it pass like this. Now point is, I'm just showing you guys, so I did not make it very nice. If in case such thing happens, just take out this knot, make a cut and do it again. So this thing came out. I'll try again. I'll show you guys. So we are, I should watch like this. Otherwise I'll make mistake again. So try to be like, follow the lines, like blue lines, the design. Let's say if I'm here and I need to make a hole here. Something like this. It's just simple. It's just a straight stitch. So it's like this. So you see on the side of the red, I made one yellow one. It's quite similar to that one. You have to just follow whatever thickness they suggest. It just goes from one side and comes from another side, then goes from another side. It just basically all over the line, you have to keep going over the line. So it's very simple. Good point about outline stitches are they are commonly used for fixing clothes. Okay, let's say if you're let's say this the stitches just open on the side and you really like a dress and you want to like actually get it. Okay, so the straight so the yeah outline stitch is the stitch which is very strong stitch. If you put two clothes together, like let's say if you want to stitch two ends together, let's say this is the end you want to stitch together, you do straight line on this, it's very strong stitch. Okay, so if you do outline stitch, not straight, outline stitch, it is a very common stitch for stitching clothes sides. I mean any side, like you see, like though they actually interlock it so that the thread doesn't come out, that's another stitch on top of it. So this outline stitch is the first stitch they make. Okay, and then they try to secure the end of the cloth because it will just come out, all the thread will come out, so they will do interlock. That's another kind of stitch. You have to do interlock to make sure that the thread doesn't come out. So they do outline, then they do interlock. Okay, so that is how garment machines work. So this stitch will be very helpful in case you want to fix something. So this outline stitch is like that. Now let's do the outline stitch. So outline. There is not much difference between back stitch and outline, so I have to just check. How they are doing is that basically the fundamentals is you make one straight stitch and then you make another straight stitch from the halfway of the first stitch. Okay, so it's like every stitch has another stitch on the side. Okay, so I'll show you what I mean. For example, outlines are on the stems. So let's say if the stitch comes out, let's say I'm starting from the one end, and then I make a stitch almost like 1 centimeter. You can have longer, you can have shorter, depending how much time you have. Shorter looks really neat and nice, but takes long time. Longer looks little as if not as great. So I'll show you because I tried both kinds. So this is the shorter one. Okay, so you see how zigzag it's going, how each stitch has went. Here it's a long sections I have taken. So every time I was taking longer sections. So this is how zigzag will look like. You see? So it's not bad or it's not good. If very long stitches, it means that it will try to get loose. You know, if you're wearing it or something like that. But if it is short, it will not come out that easily. Longer stitch means less power if you're like actually fixing your cloth. But longer stitches means you can do it quickly. So depends. Go with your liking. So now we are here at this end. So I like a straight stitch. I'm going back, like I came front from one side, going back from one side. So I fill in this line. So this is one straight stitch. But now what you do is you make needle come out from halfway of already whatever you thread. You already made a stitch. You come out in the middle of that stitch. Try not to actually thread over the thread, but come from the side and try to keep that side consistent every time. So you see, I'm not going. So basically my thread is still on the side of the needle. I'm not through the thread. Okay. I'm on the side of the thread. Why I'm saying this? Because if you go through the thread, it will cause, tangling later with the thread. That's why I have experienced that. That's why I'm asking you to keep your needle coming out halfway, but not on the thread, but on the side of the stitch, on the side of the stitch. So when we come out like this. And then now, whatever length was the total, whatever you stitch, similar length you go up. So I'm going up. So like this. So like this. Now I have to go out halfway again. It's like this. Yes. So from the back, it looks like this. You see, this is how it should look from the back. It should look like, you see 3 stitches have gone. Like this. This is the back. And the front looks like this. It's like full colors, like there's no gap. It's going on like this. So it's called outline because they are using it for outlining. they are using, but we used to call it backward and forward stitches, because how I'm doing is like I'm going one stitch forward. Sometimes people go backward, they start from another end and they keep on going back like this, hopping back like this, but I'm going like this from my body towards outside, so it's like forward. If from back to this side, it's called backward, but the effect is same, strength is same, doesn't matter. So that's what, and here also they call it outline, and I think back stitch is the same thing, but of course, like they are two different names. They just start from different ends.